ABC2 anchor Kelly Burns live in Punta Gorda at Fisherman's Village. A much different scene today, 20 years after Hurricane Charley. Just about a half hour ago, 20 years ago, made landfall and came barreling through this area, basically destroying most of what is in its path. 4 people in Charlotte County died as a direct result of that storm, but they didn't get power back for 2.5 weeks. A lot of people were injured in the cleanup, and a lot of people, suffered because of the heat. It was hot almost immediately after. First responders were taking care of people. First of all, it was search and rescue, and then they were trying to care for people injured in the heat and in the cleanup. NBC2's Samantha Serban talked to some first responders who were there when Charley hit.
Requesting EMS for possible dehydration.
Charlotte County Fire Station 12 in Deep Creek sits off Luther Road. Today, it's in one piece. A roof overhead, a shiny new engine in the bay. At first glance, you'd never know what happened 20 years ago.
We were actually in this building, and the roof came off of it. It actually ended up on the other side of 75, completely cleared the highway and landed in the field.
Lieutenant Daniel West wasn't actually an employee of the county at the time. He was working private ambulance.
They let us know, hey, we're going to detail you to Station 12. Just go stand by there.
We're between the buildings in downtown Punta Gorda. It's just creating like a vacuum or something, and everything's shooting down the street.
As the compact storm flew over the station, seconds were slow, moments fast.
The guys that worked here out here trying to secure the trucks and the doors that have fallen on them and stuff.
It was after the wind settled and rain stopped, they took inventory of the damage, and the real work began.
And we just started doing grid searches. Seeing if people got out of their trailers, seeing if people stayed. Let's go check this neighborhood, go check that neighborhood.
Within 2 days, we started having in-state resources showing up from other fire departments around the state. And they would embed into our fire stations. They all looked at us and said, don't worry, we'll run the calls. You just tell us how to get there since we don't know where we're going.
Lieutenant Charles McCullum called 12 home even 20 years ago. And although he didn't ride out the storm here, he remembers the ride in.
There was trees down and street signs were all gone and poles were down. It was like a complete devastation. Basically, when we got into work, we weren't leaving work.
And he was okay with that.
I was all in. I wanted to do this since I was like 16 years old. So
for West, though, Charley was a turning point, something that drives him to this day.
I think that was when I truly got a taste of, responding to true emergencies and how important, what we do is and why we train and why we have the equipment we do and the preparation and everything. So it's, if anything, that's solidified that part of my career.
Now with recruits of their own to teach and train, here's to hoping they'll never have to face a storm like Charley again.
I don't think anything has since compared to Hurricane Charley for me in my career.
Reporting in Deep Creek, I'm Samantha Serban.